Okay, because a lot of this stuff is from Mexico. I've been working for almost 15 years plus. And this is another misconception. And people are like, oh my God, I want to talk to the angels. Yes, and we have all these beautiful angel messages and angel cards. And the truth is, the angels never been incarnated. So everyone is here first time, right?
First time with you.
First time. So who've done San Pedro? What kind of San Pedro was it?
That I don't know.
Okay, so where did you do it?
Well, multiple places. I've had the powder and I've had it freshly made, but it's never been.
But is it like Colombian, Hawaiian, North American, South American?
I'm not sure, just because of who I've sat with ayahuasca. They were trained in multiple areas, like from Shipibo to a couple others, and so where that was sourced, I'm not sure.
Next time, always ask, guys. Whenever, even ayahuasca, whenever you take ayahuasca, it's so different depending on the region. So you only want to know not only where the person, the training is, but where the plant medicine is from. What about you?
It was in Mendocino, Northern California, but I believe it was Peruvian.
Peruvian.
Yeah.
Okay, because a lot of this stuff is from Mexico. Because a lot of people don't realize it. Even ayahuasca nowadays we have is a lot from Mexico and not from the South America. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Or Hawaii there, actually.
or even Hawaii.
That's where a lot of my knowledge is.
Yes.
And then, just since we're on this topic, because I have made it with a friend here before by the ones that you can buy here, which I actually recently purchased the San Pedro, but I'm not sure which one it is and how many of the varieties.
Okay, that's good to know.
Okay.
All right, so the San Pedro ceremony. Do you want to sit so I can see you?
Of
course, I can't see you. So the San Pedro originally was the ceremony intended for the kings and priests. And once I tell you why, it will make sense why you are here or what it could do for you. And the reason is it's not because they were the bougie ones and because it was very expensive, which it is, because in order for you to make San Pedros, they're very old. San Pedro is basically like wine. The older it is, the more expensive it is. If it's too young, there is no vision, so it has to be like really old. And so it takes a lot of years for it to grow. So just like in wine, the older the better, but also not too old, because like wine, it gets bad. So it has to be this golden middle. And even like a caviar, by the way, caviar is the same way. So once you have these asotras, they're 20-year-olds. So that's why caviar is also so expensive. I mean, you'll have those 20, 25-year-old huge asotras, before they could produce this amazing caviar. And nowadays, they don't even kill them. They remove the caviar and they sew them back, so they can keep continuing, because also it needs to be the old asotras. So something like that, similar from in this San Pedro. It has to be very old, and you also, again, just like wine and a caviar, depends on the region. So I've been working for almost 15 years plus with Peruvian plant medicine, with Peruvian shamans in different areas, all the way from Iquitos to Cusco. So basically all the way through the jungles and all the way tinkling down to Machu Picchu. And I saw the varieties of plant medicines and differences in techniques. So if you have other teachers, they might be doing it differently. I know the Colombians, they do it a little bit different. So again, depends on the region. There are obviously modifications. And also modifications in the energies. And we will know later, I'll explain you why this matters to have an altar and to have these things. The reason kings and priests were using it is because they had to make decisions that would affect their whole nations. And decisions would be, do we go to war with this enemy? Should we move up north, or should we move? Is this enough abundance for us? Are we going to sustain this winter? Is the harvest going to be abundant? So they had a lot of important questions that decide the fate of millions of people. And so the reason they did it is they got answers in their divination process for that. Basically, it helped them to make the right decisions, to see the future, because you could see the glimpse of it, the energies of it. Again, everybody will have a different experience, but that originally, that was the purpose. And it believed that after they've had the San Pedro ceremony, they walked out to be super Incas. So you were no longer like a regular mortal being. The other important component that San Pedro was bringing, it gives you that connection with the world. I mean, we all hear about it, we all read about it, but to have that experience, that unity, that it's just became a word, but a lot of people don't have experience of that. And so that helps you to have that experience of connecting with the world, where you're able to see the trees, that they're beings. You're able to talk to the trees, to the clouds, to the birds, to the mountains, like the whole Pachamama, the whole plane of a mineral kingdom. You'll be able to see that they're beings, that they're entities, that they're alive and they're talking. San Pedro is a non-being, so it's never been incarnated because it's a plant medicine. So basically, when you are participating in the ceremony, it's like you're talking to a being, like a teacher, a master. So you're basically summoned here. It is believed that every person that shows up been summoned by the spirit of San Pedro. Actually, San Pedro is an American word. It is originally called Wachuma. So this is like for gringos and Americans, it's San Pedro. But the proper polite way to address it, it's a Wachuma. And it is considered to be grandfather. Whether ayahuasca is considered to be a mama, she's a mama ayahuasca because she has this different type of spirit and energies, and this is the father. And also it's interesting that San Pedro is linked to the energy of the sun, and the sun is also the father. Sun is the male energy, and ayahuasca is connected to moon, and moon is the female energy. So also there's a lot of difference in when you're going to feel that essence, the presence that is coming in. And by the way, when you see like little flying beings, the Peruvians believe that whenever you sit in a ceremony and you have like even a fly come by, it's a blessing. Any winged being comes around by, it's like the skies are blessing you. And since the shamans, they didn't have a cosmology of Jesus and the God, right? Because they lived in the native elements. And so their understanding of God was what they saw. And the highest form of God was the condor, because he's the largest. His wings have 2 meters spanned on each side. I mean, they're huge, right? And the older they get, the bigger they are. And so they could fly like no other birds. They see everything. And so that was their understanding of life itself. So we are born as the snake, which reminds you of the sperm, the lowest form, right? You just came in, and then when you grow up, you get older, you're in the world of Puma. Puma is our world, the third plane, where the peoples, the humans, the animals, we are surviving, we are doing stuff done. But the ultimate form of human transformation of our lives was always a condor. So like this is where your goal is to be, to transcend this world of Puma, where you constantly have to hunt for living, and you eat what you kill. And get to that state where you see everything from above, right? And so you only move when time is right. See, you don't have to, there's no more hunting. You just be, and things come to you, and when the condor sees it, goes down and gets it. So it doesn't spend energy, it doesn't expand energy on survival. And so this is a good trilogy of the Peruvians. It's Mexican have a lot of similarity, and it's interesting, instead of puma, they have like panther, Black Panther kind of energy, so which is very similar again. And so the purpose of today, to have this opportunity to come in contact with the San Pedro. It's a conscious, you got to be very respectful. When you feel the presence and when you're addressing in your prayers or intents, you have to be very respectful. They are not people, yet at the same time, they are not angels as well. And this is another misconception. And people are like, oh my God, I want to talk to the angels. Yes, and we have all these beautiful angel messages and angel cards. And the truth is, the angels never been incarnated. So the truth is, they don't really know what it's like to be human. They don't know your plight. They don't know what it's like to have feeling. They don't know what it's like to be in love or not. They don't know what it's like to be hungry. They don't know what it's like to provide or have a need. They don't know what it's like to have children, right? And so in our this whole new age and metaphysical world, we are like so inclined to connect with angels, but and it's beautiful energy, and it's great to have the angels' blessing. But the angels see us as perfect with all our sicknesses, illnesses, and problems. And so when you really connect with angels, and like there was a situation where you talk to angels, it's like, oh my God, I just need you to help me, get some money. And if you really talk to angels, you would hear they go, what's money? And you're like, this, credit cards, money, that's what you pay your bills. Bills? What's bills? And so this is where plant medicine becomes this perfect bridge, because they are from earth. San Pedro knows, what human knows what it's like to be on earth, because as a plant, they know what it's like. You need sun, you need environment, you need condition, you need nutrition, you need food, you need hydration, temperature. They know what it's like. They know survival. They know what you need to survive. So that's where ayahuasca and plant medicine, Wachuma, they're so good at teaching us, guiding us within these processes. And again, depending on the regions, the teachers, the producers who produced it, the intents they've done it, it's very different. I know that people I work with for many, many years, that you have to fast. Before you do it, there have to be celibacy. It's a very sacred process, the way you make it and stuff like that. They pray. So this is really, really time-consuming process. Interesting, Carlos Castaneda, and teachers of Don Juan, he talks a lot about his experiences with San Pedro and how they were eating it and digesting it and how they were carrying it and stuff like that. So if you're interested, check it out. I've read that book when I was 16.
We read them too.
I've read it when I was 16, and it has this huge impact. And one of the things that really affected me was where he shares his experience of transportation, where he gets transported in time and space. And I've had that experience at 16, where I was literally going home and it was late. It was really late, and I walked out of subway. I was in Moscow, Russia, and I was like, oh God, I have to take a bus to get to the home. It's in the city, so we had trolley buses. Anyway, and so I walk out, I stand in that trolley waiting for that, and it's dark. And then next thing I know, I'm by my house. And I was like, whoa. And so you kind of have this experience warping in that space and time. And that's what plant medicine does. When you work with it, you actually start noticing how time is not real. You've heard of it, or you've read about it, but you would actually see it. Because when you are with the plant medicine, you will see how 1 minute can last like an hour or 3.
That happened yesterday. That's why we were here yesterday.
And yes. And so the time, it plays tricks with time.
It did.
Trust me, it happened to me when I was traveling on the plane. I remember it was 30 minutes, 30 minutes lasted 3 hours. I was like, what is it? It's beginning. I'm able to feel it right before it. I'm still traveling to the ceremony and I'm already feeling. So basically you feel this suspension in time. And so this is also will be for you to pay attention to, because you could do it once you walk out of the ceremony. So you can continue with that. Yeah, this is Shapibo. But this is variation. This is not a pure Shapibo, because this is a pure Shapibo.
I have one that's
Yeah, this is the pure Shapibo I brought from the jungles, and then that is from Cusco. So this is like a combination of both.
Yeah, some of these are from
Yeah, it's interesting because each
I brought
tribe.
mine too.
Okay, perfect. Bring it out. Yeah, this is Shapibo, and let me show it on the camera so we can see. So this is the Shapibo, and the mesa. Do you know how to work with your mesa?
No, not well. I'm gonna just stay open and probably say no unless you, I'm sure you
Yeah.
can teach me.
Yeah. We'll see if we get there, but yes, you have to know how to work with your mesa. This is good for you to lay on.
Lay on.
I would put it on you. Let me see what you've got.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is more of the south. Yeah, this is definitely not Shipibo, but it's just more of the like closer to the Cusco area. They do this beautiful. There's a lot
Yeah, it
of
looks
different
like
tribes.
that one.
It looks like
Yeah.
that one. And so what this basically has.
It's a vest.
Oh, this is so cute. So basically, these are very ayahuasca's
Yes.
energies,
Yeah.
and it helps you guide your soul so you don't get lost during the ceremony. Don't worry.
Don't you worry.
Don't you worry. That's
You want to wear a vest?
yes. Whenever a vest.
Or you can
This
put
is
it-
not ayahuasca. It's San Pedro. It's very light, so it's
You won't get
different.
lost.
Ayahuasca is the night medicine, which has its place, of course, and then the Wachuma, it's a daytime medicine. So this is where we get to reignite the energy of the sun. And the reason why these little things matter, like where it's from and what is, the origin of your medicine is, because once you're in the process, we get to work with these spirits that are connected to these certain areas. For example, in the Cusco, they work with apuses. Apuses is the spirits of the mountains, and it's so perfect that we can actually see these mountains because they come and they work with people. Here, because I have this from jungles and from the Iquitos, so I have the mix of the north and south of Peru, and there's a different energies and different spirits. In the jungles, there are no mountains, so the jungle beings are different. They are, their spirits are different, their cosmology is different. Like these tribes that live in the jungles, they believe in goblins. And I remember I came in, I was like, what must be the level of consciousness of people that believe in goblins? But if you look at them, they live in tribes. They're very short people. This is type of jewelries that they make from these plants and birds that are around them, and they believe in what they see. So that's what they see. So they've seen goblins, and I know a lot of other cultures that have similar spirits. Of like Irish, they believe in the little fairy tales and the little fairies. And the little fairies and the little like plant spirits, because that's what they've seen. And I've seen those, and I actually have seen all of them because I've been in these places, and I got to see those the goblins in the jungles of Iquitos.
Wow.
That was not a pleasant experience. And that was the ayahuasca session. So you kind of starting understanding, like, oh, so, and that is why, so since we are from Peru, so the trilogy of our transcendence of life, right, is important. So you might see birds sometimes in session, like we see eagles coming out here out of nowhere. You'll see like bumblebee appears out of nowhere, little hummingbirds coming. So pay attention to the signs that you see. It kind of will send you messages. And so once you work with these messages, and this is another, this is also very ayahuasca. This is actually, this red one's ayahuasca, from ayahuasca tree. But it's still the energies of Peru, and so they're coming here to support you. And I've had my mom yesterday, she comes out, she goes, I see those short people in the backyard looking like children. Who did you invite? And I was like, Mom, I was working with the Iquitos energies, and so those spirits, they're short. Because apuses, they're really, really tall. Another way you know that apuses are present, they'll let you know when they are present. And by the way, if you invite them during the ceremony, you feel generous and you would like to invite them, you can connect with the mountains. And we live in Las Vegas, so we have these energies everywhere anyway. And that's dragonfly, symbol of transformation. Yes, and did you see how strange it? She just literally came from here.
Right in front of us.
Right? So yes, she's like, I'm watching you.
Coming back.
Right on track.
Yes, and that's what I was saying. All of us, trust me, I don't see them daytime. They don't come here. So yeah, she's like,
It's so weird because just yesterday, person I know in Hawaii has a picture of one landed on his nose, and he just posted that.
Mhm.
So that's interesting.
It's a symbol of transformation, so she wanted to let him know that he's transforming, transcending, and he's on the right path. Very important energy of the crystals, because they help you ground. And San Pedro is very high frequency. So when you take it, that's why you might have those palpitations and your heart flutter and stuff like that. Basically, it helps you to understand what high frequency is. You know how we have read in the Bible, and the people always wanted to see God, and the God was even, there was a burning bush in the Bible, and you were like, stay away, stay there for your own safety. Because people don't understand that when you are surrounded by high frequencies, our biology cannot handle it. You can't really be in the presence of God, like in 100%. So the God always have to put that presence, shrink it, so it would not hurt us. So that experience will allow you to actually feel what it's like high vibrational states, because in some you might even have a slight tremble of your hands, which is normal because it's just so palpitating. So we will have our calming teas for that. So we don't drink water, but we will have the teas, the chamomile and the mint tea to soothe your tummy. So we'll see in the process which one is needed. So number one, that's why we have always the altar. So we have the guidance, so we have the protection, because you're going to be very open. So you want to make sure the spirits and everything, and as whoever is facilitating your process, right, your facilitator's job is to do that, to create the protection of the place, of the environment, of you, for your process, for your souls, for your mind. San Pedro works on the hearts, and from here mostly. It does work on physical healings, like ayahuasca is starting to work from here, from your first chakras and going up. San Pedro is starting to work mostly on your heart, opening, clearing, and healing, because our bodies keep memories of traumas. There's a book, Your Body Keeps Score, and it's basically on this, what shamans knew for thousands of years, and now it seems to be a breakthrough for people. They're like, oh my God, can you believe it? Yes, people knew it for thousands and thousands of years, that your body keeps all the memories. Every event happened when you were in the womb. You will not even have a conscious awareness. How when your mom got pregnant by you, and whatever her first thoughts, do I keep you, do I not? Is it going to be that? So this whole first feeling of rejection, not love, and all this stuff. So it builds up, those memories, they build up. The first, your childhood, relationship between man and woman. The first relationship you see would be between your mom and your dad. And we get programmed by this. The idea of God, like why humans always look up for God. When we talk to God, we automatically look up. Why? Because when you're a kid, your parents always lean over. Your parents are your gods. As a kid, we are programmed to always look up for our parents. So we automatically think that higher consciousness is up there, where in reality, the first version of God as a kid you had were your parents. And so it shows you how much we are programmed and how much we don't know, how much is hidden. And so that's why this process is super important. I remember I was telling a friend of mine, I was like, hey, I'm doing San Pedro, do you want to come over? He goes, I don't have any trauma. I don't need it. And the truth is, you don't need to have a trauma. Actually, it's better not to have a trauma and come for this. Because I'll tell you a story. When I was starting this process, my spiritual path many, many years ago, and I came for the first channeling session, and I was blown, like, oh my God. And as a kid, I was reading Bible, and I've had the regret that God stopped talking to us. And so I was always talking to Jesus, to God, and I've had communication. I didn't know it's supposed to be in church or in ceremony. I loved it. I loved Jesus, God, and so I was talking to God, and it was to the point where my connection with God was so strong, where I would go to school and the rain starts, and I'll be like, I don't have any umbrella. Could you make it stop till I get to school, and then continue that? And it was like this. It worked. I was a kid. I didn't know that there was a protocol that you're supposed to go to church. Like Christians, they're very controlling of their protocols of talking to God, because they don't want people talking to God. And this whole policy against plant medicine, I think, is also based on that control of development, because they don't want people, to actually be too evolved, too spiritual, too comfortable, and too happy, because you make a better, slave and employee when you're scared and afraid and in troubles, right? But anyway, and so the connection is always there, and the plant medicine will always guide you through this process, right? But you might have certain messages and the feelings, and it is a purging process, so you might feel nauseous, which is normal, and that's when you decide, okay, when I'm feeling nauseous, am I going to keep it and work with this energy, or am I going to purge it? That's when you decide what to do, and then this problem is going to be passed by the moment, and then they might come back. So we will help you with that. I have candies to help you to kind of keep it the first 40 minutes to an hour. So as long as we get to keep it the first 40 minutes to an hour, after that, whatever happens, it happens. You're fine. The situations we've had with people was she was feeling nauseous, and then she had to purge, and then she looks down, she goes, oh, here goes my ex. So these energies of memories where you can't release, they are stuck. And it's your chance to release. You don't have to purge to release them. They might come as a vision, which you're going to be understanding why, and you'll be like, okay, I'm saying goodbyes, thank you. And I'm ready to move on. I've got the wisdom of everything you gave me. Thank you. I'm going towards the new path, separate path. So separation from the exes is super important. The love. A lot of people, they don't really know what love is. They've never had the feeling of love. That's where Wachuma opens your heart. And when the heart opens, it's an uncomfortable process. So being a little bit uncomfortable is fine. I don't expect you to have any scary or dark visions or energies. This is not ayahuasca. This is a completely different process. So I would expect you to have everything very light and beautiful. At some point, if you need to ground, that's why you can come in, grab a stone, a rock, or something if you're too fluttered or something, and I'll be checking up on every one of you, just seeing if you need something, and I'll bring you at some point something. We are doing cleanses. We are doing limpia con pluma de condor, and we will basically have experience where you close your eyes, and when I will work with it, you will actually feel the blessing of a condor, like these huge wings, like right blessing you right there. It's absolutely beautiful experience. We will have Palo Santos, of course. We will have sage. We will have the incense as an offering to the spirits for their work that I will be calling upon, that they will come and assist us in the process, so you will be able to see different types of energies. I also have those little San Pedro healing bags. It has like crystals and stuff for you to work with, and I'll give it to you before the ceremony, because it will be your pouch, and I want you to work with it, hold it, and carry this. It's been already through ceremony, so it kind of already has San Pedro energies, but it will help you. And so it's good you brought your own crystals, so this will help you during the session to carry away the resonance of this. But even the jewelry that you currently have on you, but if you have it, whatever you have, you will still be carrying these energies. Now, do we have any questions?
That was beautiful.
Is everything going to be guided? Or
Oh, yes.
am I supposed to have questions before? Or
Yes,
just
we are going to have an intent,
everything? Okay.
but we will have plenty of time, because it takes about 40 minutes to an hour for the process to begin. So
Okay.
after we drink it, you'll have the whole hour to work with your intentions. And a lot of times the intention that brought us here was not the real intention that we need to know. So you start from what brought you here, but I'm sure during the process you're going to remember something, someone that you could heal and work on. The other beautiful part of San Pedro, you'll be able to send this healing energy to the friends that couldn't make it today. I have her bag, so I'll give it to her, because she'll have also San Pedro energies that will also help her and she'll start the connection with the spirits, the guides, so it will be beautiful.
That'll be good for her.
Yeah, for her friend. And so we could use that time to heal your friends, your families, your children, your loved ones, your job, your health, your career, anything that could use more light, more support. That's what Vachum is here for. All right.